Oh, this is going to be an exciting one because G1, it feels like they finally have woken up in today's competition. We've been seeing incredible plays from Suppress, but in their way is Complexity, and I feel like this is the story of Suppress and Collect, the two new bloods of Halo, really showing out today. Clutch, what do you think of these two new players?
Yeah, I love both of these individuals for their individual skill, and the pace that they play at is some of the fastest in Halo Infinite. These are two of the guys that really took an advantage of the quick movement, the super slides, like everything that is at the disposal in the sandbox in Halo Infinite. And it's no doubt that they're turning that immediately into success once they found the right teams. They're both here in the elimination bracket finals, competing for that grand final spot, and both of them have been so impactful to their team's success.
And so far, everything is going right for G1. The trip cap right off the bat, power weapons to work with, and Boo Boo Doo wants to fry some players with the Stalker rifle, waiting for the teammate spawn, but here comes the pressure. Collect leading the charge, he goes down to some perfect shots. Boo Boo Doo finally has to give up the red gun, but not before the damage is done. Gamers first with a 45-point run. No answers for Complexity in the early game.
It's a BC hold early for Gamers First, 50 points unanswered on the board as well. So they're continuing right off the last series that we just watched on the stream, and Gamers First looking like they're starting to hit a groove, looking like what we thought this Gamers First team had a ceiling of coming into this tournament. You wondered how Suppress was going to play into it. Well, a 42 bomb on that Streets oddball game, that's everything this Gamers First team is going to need in order to make a grand finals appearance. Let's see if they can find some consistency in this series, and they're doing a great job here early on, now up to 80-0.
Now Collect tries to get on that flank, but Zab, he sniffs it right on out. Finally though, Complexity get the spawns. They're working on C, but on the other side of the map, Gamers First get the cap and are still scoring. Not 1 point for Complexity. These rockets could change everything, but it's G1. They're first, and they get the shotgun to go with it. Selfish with the power weapons, and Falcated has no chill. He's flying forward, wants to find more kills, but could it be their demise? Monster gets caught in the back, and well, Falcated continues on his trek forward. C gonna be changing hands, and G1 looking at another potential trip cap.
Yeah, pushing the trip cap with 3 going down. Complexity coming off spawn, and look at where Gamers First is on the map. Everyone is spread out. Unfortunately, you lose Suppress, so this trip cap probably not gonna last as long as Gamers First fans wanted to see. But when you look at the score, 134-0, it's transitioned perfectly into the objective. I mean, finally, Complexity get a little bit of breathing room and are able to eliminate some of the Gamers First players that were controlling the sandbox with the shotguns, the Stalker rifles, the rockets even. But it's almost a two-way story right now for Complexity. You really have to find the power curve here coming up in order to turn this game around, and I'm not sure they're going to get that opening.
Just 6 points before Gamers First was able to take back the hill, but Complexity finding an immediate response, getting their hills back and looking for maybe a little bit more. If they're going to get back into this game, you have to imagine this Complexity roster is looking for trip caps at all opportunities.
Yeah, here it is. This is the chance, the moment, and you capture it. 139-20 now climbing. You needed to get that trip cap, in my opinion, solidified, but they don't overextend. They stay up, which is a big piece to it. If you can get around to Slays, maybe push a trip cap, this game could get close all of a sudden.
Cycle's gonna be able to get that trade out, but Falcade has broken the breach. He's in the castle, and Tusk has to find the kill. Boo Boo Doo coming from the support, the middle lane, finds a monster, takes him down, and Tusk was able to survive and stabilizes for now. Complexity still scoring and have the better position for the Rockets coming up in just a moment's notice. These Rockets gonna be pivotal for them getting back into this game, but now the kill feed, it starts to light up red, and Cycle's in danger, has to back down, relying on Monster to go big, but these Rockets, oh no, it looks like G1 looking more and more likely to steal them away.
A pivotal win from Falcated right there, secures the Rockets, and right when Complexity look like they have some hope, going down right before those Rockets spawn is not what you want to see from them, and this is going to be such a difficult chance for them to try and fight for this B stronghold. They're going to lose that fight. They go 3 down, and just like that, you see Suppressed with the Stalker hop into it. This is going to be a tough position for Complexity coming off spawn on the shotgun side of the map. They've opted to go to C, and it's going to be a difficult push for them.
Suppress already feeling that rotation. He's gonna go all the way back towards A with this red gun. Looks like G1 gonna be content with maybe giving up this C, but they're still fighting all the way across the map, and Suppress is looking for any scraps. What's the leftovers? Not gonna be able to get him, but will secure a home base for his team and is already working on the support as they try to counter back towards B. Shut down by this nade, and now G1 suddenly in danger. They lose 2 players. Suppress still alive with the power weapons, but you have to feel that Complexity is getting a little bit of momentum bit by bit.
I love that play from Suppress right there with the drop wall. He angled himself right past the wall to where he couldn't be seen when he knew players from Complexity were going to be pushing towards Caution, and his teammates were coming off respawn. So he's in a very difficult situation with power weapons in hand, needed to stay alive and make a play. He bought enough time, got a couple of kills, and because of it, it's going to make Gamer's first opportunity coming off respawn here so much better.
Right now, Boo Boo Doo-Boo's trying to make sure they have the spawns for these rockets. Getting that first kill on Tusk is piece number 1. They're working on getting B as well. So even though they're losing C, still scoring in this position. And they're not done with just scoring, trying to get away with the rockets as well. The fight going down through the middle of the map. Well, you have to imagine whoever gets those rockets is probably going to be going on the next run in this game. And look at all this pressure that's mounting. Everyone waiting for what's gonna snap the Camels back, what's going to push the action forward. It's Sad trying to get in, but Tusk gets the kill. Falcated not able to get the rocket kill as well. Complexity stabilized from a dangerous position.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. Whoever gets these rockets is going to get that next level of power curve that's probably going to start to dictate a little bit of the next portion of this game. That's a must get for Complexity. They don't get the rocket, but they get all of the slays they need around those rockets. They make it difficult for Gamers First to possess them. And with that, they're starting to crawl back. Can they get a couple more rounds of slays in order to make this game a little bit more interesting is the big question.
We never say never in this stream. It's all about the action and who can finish across the line, but so far G1 playing some stiff defenses. You see the split spawns from Complexity. They're able to get towards access of A,
nice
but
stick.
C switching hands right away.
A nice stick from Sad. That trade is massive to just control B, to just delay the push of Complexity. It's a 100-point game, but this game feels like it could go either way still at this moment. 40 points is all Gamers First need, and Collect picking up a double with the Stalker right there is going to open up the door for Complexity to regain control. It's an AC hold. It's not your traditional half of the map that you get to control. We'll see how Complexity choose to play this one out.
Collect having to dodge nades left and right, but he's leading the charge in this lobby. 17 kills, the most, and he has 2 players to deal with, and it's gonna be too much. Sav and Foul find the break in the backseat. Cycle gonna have to give this one away, and now they also have position to contest for these rockets. Cycle having to come back, knowing how important these rockets are, but the kills still bleed red. Rockets looking more and more likely to be a tool for G1, and it's gonna be Sav who gets them home. The pre-fire doesn't connect, but there's 3 more players that are gonna taste this rocket. Sav able to get the first. Cycle with the back rotation is gonna be able to get the pick, but G1 just seemed to have what it takes to take home this game.
What a nade by Cycle. Heads up awareness to know that a player is going to be coming up those stairs. I'm not quite sure he had the call out, but a teammate was able to do enough damage to where that nade, it gets the kill. It allows him the comfort of securing C, and the momentary success of the strongholds right now for Complexity is going to keep them in this. But you best believe if they go 4 down, this game will be over, so they need to play near perfect from here on out.
You start to see Complexity pushing 3 players together. It's about mounting this defense, and Tusk gets the double kill to open it up, but Suppress, the new blood of G1, needs to go big. Shut down by the combination of Cycle and Monster. Falcated suddenly feels the pressure and has to give up early on the C hill, but he's not giving up on the fight. Monster is gonna go down to the grave alongside him, and you start to see G1, I feel like making some mistakes, maybe getting a little bit desperate.
Yeah, 3 down again. Gamers First just went 3 down. Falcated was the last player alive. He trades with Monster. They go 3 down again after Falcated goes down, and Falcated finds himself basically coming off respawn at the wrong timings of the rest of his team. really struggling to find their footing now. And look at the score, Tools. It's 200 to 227. This is a very winnable game for Complexity. They have a trip cap right now, pressure on the C, and Boobadooboo doesn't have an answer for the amount of pressure he's seeing in his face. 4 down again for Gamers First. It's 3 straight wipes for Complexity.
It's not just a trip cap, it's a chokehold. They're gonna be able to get the rockets as well. G1, they just can't do
What
anything.
a rocket.
Off the blind fire, he's sending a second one. Boobadooboo is able to survive, but Monster's damage is already felt. Just 9 seconds to get into this hill, and Monster's defending it with his life. Can G1 scrap into anything? 2, 1, it's all, they're in at the last second, but Complexity have earned themselves so much room to work with.
That's it. That's game. Complexity take it off a massive comeback, over 100 points at one point. The Slays were heavily in the favor of G1, but Complexity, they got map control and they never lost map control. They kept Falcated cycling off respawn, offset of his team, and with that, it had just allowed them to play with the numbers advantage the entire time. Map control, sandbox, numbers advantage. And that's why you never say never, like you said, Tools, is because any comeback is possible in a Strongholds game. You just need to get that control and apply the right amount of pressure.
It really comes down to moments in this game. This is where we start to see everything change. And it's after this kill clutch. I mean, after this kill, what does G1 need to do? Because there's no right solution, it feels like.
Yeah, you got to slow it down, right? You got to get everybody up at the same time. And what felt like wasn't a real opportunity. And the one time they have all 4 players alive, well, Monster's shooting rockets through smokes, just taking you out as you feel forced to jump in the stronghold immediately because the trip cap's bleeding you out so quickly. And that's just a beautiful rocket. Heads up play by him. He knows where that indicator is compared to where the rest of the stronghold is going to be, and that tower is an easy rocket for him. And the rest of the team just too spread out. I mean, that's the story of Streets, though. If you get control of that sandbox on the map, the Bulldog, the Stalker, you can go on unbelievable runs. We've seen Slayers in the last LAN tournament flip on their head from 10 kill differentials. You've seen Strongholds always be a game of momentum. And Complexity, I mean, showing some veteran play there to be able to be down as much as they were and not just chalk the game up and go next. They dug deep and they got that win out.
Now, with all that momentum behind them, we move into the second game, a classic game in Halo's history. The Pit, introduced in Halo 3, now known as Empyrean in Halo Infinite. 2 snipers, 1 rocket to work with, and you can expect Slayers to really slow down in this game.
Empyrean Slayer is a game that can go very quickly if you're on the wrong side of it. So I'm looking at Gamers First on what kind of a pace are they trying to set in this game too? Are they trying to be aggressive? Because they still are probably pretty confident that they're the better team in this series, but you lose your snipe, they get on top of your turret, and all of a sudden the 15 kill differential is something you think is almost like too much to try and come back from. So I'll be interested to see if Gamers First try and play this one a little bit more textbook style, slow it down and just control your side and let your sniper go to work, or are you going to try and press the pace here? And I think if we've learned anything about what Suppress brings to Gamers First, it is a little bit of that pace setting. It is a little bit of that aggressiveness that maybe they were missing with a few other rosters that they've had. So I wouldn't be shocked to see them be that aggressing team, but that can also get flipped on its head if it's predictable.
Right, and this is, you know, a tough matchup for G1 in particular, because looking at the stats of how Complexity likes to play on Empyrean, but you're going up against one of the best Empyrean Slayer teams. Complexity has the first overall KD on this map with a 1.27, and Tusk in particular leading the charge for everyone in the HCS on Empyrean Slayer with a 1.73 on this map. Well, what about this Complexity roster do you think makes them so successful on a map like Empyrean?
Well, I have a lot of experience playing with Tusk back in the remakes in the H2A Halo 3 days, or the MCC Halo 3 days, I'm sorry. And he was definitely a strong pit player. His awareness of when to push, how to get through, how to create some chaos, find some openings, was as good as anybody's when I was playing. So It's no doubt that he's able to bring that to his team, teach his team timing, successful pushes, what we want to do to distract players in order to get through runway and whatnot. So I would imagine it's a combination of all of that paired with controlling the two S7s, the rockets, and the overshield, right? I think if we learned anything from Complexity in the second half of that Street Strongholds game was they did a phenomenal job of controlling the sandbox when it was coming up the rockets. Maybe they weren't getting the rockets every single time, but they were letting G1 get the rockets, but at their own demise, right? They were getting the kills as they were trying to secure those rockets. The rocket player was kind of not given an answer and was taken down, eliminated, and with that comes map control. So a lot of that strategy comes down to how do you want to play it based off the situation you're in. I think Tusk can bring a lot of knowledge on the map like Imperium because he's had so much experience on it.
Well, off to the start, they're sending 2 players from each team over towards this sniper and overshield. Sab gonna be early to grab it, but they've given up the rockets in order to do so, but both go astray and Boo Boo Doo survives. G1 start to slaughter the rest of Complexity. Collect has to retreat.
Yeah, no answer for Collect to try and impact this battle for overshield. Unfortunately, everybody just behind the walls. Collect plays a little bit passive. You don't really blame him for that, but he's taken out of the play, and that rocket play from Cycle might be something that they regret. But Collect, standing ground top turret, making sure that you shall not pass, he says, that the Gamers First members trying to push him. That first pick was everything because that was Gamers First's opportunity to really get some pressure and build an early score line. Collect just shut that down himself.
And what I love is he says you shall not pass, but then immediately after he gets the kill, he's running fast like Shadowfax. He's not stopping for anything, trying to get into the spawns at G1, and G1, they're in danger. Suddenly, Collect has the power position and both the power weapons to work with. Push him if you dare.
Yeah, this is Collect's sandbox right now. Repulse, Heatwave, S7, everything to work with. He's kind of in an exposed area with no teammates around, and he is going to be pressured. They know he is here. It's just a matter of how many members of Gamers First come for Collect, and if he's able to defend them all off.
Right now, it's almost a trap, right? That repulse in his back pocket. He can't really wrap this corner. And Collect is getting them all. They're lining up. Double kill for him, and people await the corner. Collect's not done yet. Boo Boo Doo Boo's in danger, but not before his teammates. Falcated takes one to the head, and Collect is playing masterful Halo at the back of Sword.
I mean, Collect's doing some unbelievable stuff, but look at how Complexity are playing this. They send another player in Sword to help Collect stay alive, knowing that they're going to push Collect eventually. Look, that initial damage from Cycle is everything that allows Collect to stay alive and make the plays that he's making. He's got another player coming to his aid, and this is why the Halo Infinite style of Empyrean Slayer has changed. You send a second player in Sword to help keep that player alive, take the initial damage, and then let your power player go to work.
Oh no, Collect is stealing kills and stealing the hearts of everyone watching. He has been an absolute demon for his team. They finally take care of him, and now G1 have an answer to potentially get themselves back into this lead, and it comes in the form of these rockets. Sab pushing this back towards his base for now, but Complexity for the first time in this game having to push out of their base while G1 pressures, rockets in hand.
I mean, Collect's put on an absolute highlight reel so far, 7-2-1. And it's a 1-kill game. How long can he keep his team into this? And Sab is going to tie this one up with the double. He's got rocks in hand. This repulse player, it's Collect. He's taken down. It's an overkill for Sab. Easy kills maybe, but that's everything G1 needs to potentially get a little bit of control and something they've been looking to have all game so far.
And not only an overkill, it could be a fatal one. It comes right when the sniper's coming up, and now potentially able to push right away. But I thought they would have access to that sniper, but no, it's Monster who got away with it. And now G1, after all that work, after that overkill, they weren't able to secure the sniper, and Monster might be able to put this just enough work in with the sniper to really push Complexity out of their base for the first time, looking for any sort of head to take off this game, starting to slow down as both teams have power weapons.
What can Monster bring Complexity here? You know how big this game 2 is for Complexity to go up 2-0 in a series where I'd consider you underdogs to go to a grand final someplace you've never been. Let's see if we can get there, but on the back of Monster's S7 it would be massive. He's got to start to make plays though, and he wants to advance on the map. You can see the push from Complexity is coming.
Monster finding his angle back into this sword base. It was so successful for Complexity when Collect was here. Monster trying to double up on that success, looking for any head to take, but Collect's getting them before they can even arrive. First kill in favor of Complexity. Falcade putting in the pressure, but Monster somehow surviving at one shot, basically just a sliver of health, but no one can take him down. And now Cycle's on the flank, assault rifle in hand, getting kills. Sab's the last alive, but Collect knows where to find him, and now this is dangerous. G1, they're on a Cycle.
Yeah, it's a 7-kill lead right now, and Cycle is top your turret. This is where Gamers versus series might be determined. How do they get him off is the big question. Players are going to start to overextend through the camo hallway. Rockets are coming up, so maybe you can get those, but no, Collect's on top of that, and these overextenders, their lives are going to be short-lived if this rocket connects. Unfortunately, it's just a trade, so a good job by Boobadooboo. But look at this, the pressure's still at your base. Overshield in Monster's hands, and Cycle still top your turret. It's such a difficult thing to handle.
Monster, no more sniper shot left, and you see G1 have leaked through, going through Complexity's base. Sab, the only player left at home, and they have to take down Tusk. They have to get this man out of the snipe tower. He's ready for the action, though, and it's the Rockets that were left behind. Boobadooboo gave a gift to Falcade, and he uses it to get them one more kill. And now, flipping this entire base, G1, all 4 players are at the home of Complexity, and they're knocking, asking for their dues. The taxes are in. What can Complexity do? Suppress takes the first. Only a 4-kill deficit now, and Complexity, instead of feeling like they have a power control at snipe, now it suddenly feels like a tomb for them.
Yeah, absolutely. This is bad news bears for Complexity. Somehow with a 7-kill lead, you get overshield, you get rockets, you find nothing as far as success is concerned. And Gamers First are doing such a good job right now fighting from a deficit position in order to try and crawl back into this game. But that's a massive double kill by Cycle to wash the players from Gamers First out of his base, reset the map, and you still have a 5-kill lead to play with.
Well, finally, G1, the roaches are gone, not in the base of Complexity anymore, but Complexity still can't breathe. Suppressed, he has the special 2 weapons, both of them so powerful, and he makes his way into the players of G1, finds the first, but not pushing forward. Now, feels like Complexity playing a little of Complexity just is in the base of G1. It feels like we're constantly seeing these base swaps, Clutch.
Yeah, I mean, the goal in Empyrean Slayer is to control the enemy's top turret. They're both trading turns. It's just a matter of who's been more successful, and I'd have to argue that Complexity has had a little bit more success of that control so far throughout this game. That's what gives them that 6-kill lead right now, and with 5 kills to go, snipe in the hands of Monster. Collect does finally go down. Monster's the last player alive for Complexity. Gamers First have to play this cautiously because they don't have a lot of room for error.
Well, Rockets and Overshield are coming up. Boobadooboo, he takes the peek and his head goes missing. Monster with the double. When they need him the most, he shows up. I'm looking for that rocket. The icon gonna give it away when someone picks it up, but they're not pushing anytime soon, knowing what Monster can do with this sniper rifle. Just 2 more kills. G1 looking for an answer in this late game.
I do believe, yep, Collect gets overshield, so they trade 1-to-1 with the power that was respawning on the map. Unfortunately, Monster not checking out any of Sword's side. Is gonna receive some of that damage. Collect finds a kill, makes it 49-43, and you can best believe Complexity will close this one out. They get that 50th kill. They take the series lead to a 2-0 fashion, and Gamers First left looking for answers here in our elimination bracket finals.
And what was such a dominant start to this series from G1 has now slipped into an 0-2 deficit in the series. Complexity looking to get this done in 3. Argyle flagged the next point of choice. Now, one thing I do want to bring up, Clutch, is at the very end of that game, it didn't have an impact on the game, but I was curious about your thoughts. We saw Monster, he had the sniper rifle in tower position, but you saw him go back and he drops that sniper for his teammate Tusk at the end. What does that say to you? Is that just you have your guy and that's your guy? Because I mean, Monster's hitting clips right here, but he's not going to be the player they choose to have that moment in his hands.
Yeah, I mean, countless times I think throughout Halo, you have a teammate that's just feeling it during a moment, during a tournament. And if a teammate says, hey, drop this for me, you drop it for him. You can tell that he's feeling it, but I don't think that Monster actually, like, I can't tell if Monster's actually dropping this on purpose. I guess he is, and maybe he wants to push, but I mean, you got to listen to calls in the moment and trust your team, and that just goes to show you that, hey, Complexity, they're trusting each other. If somebody wants one of the weapons, if somebody wants to make a play, they're gonna allow that player to pop off. They're gonna allow that player the opportunity. And I think, like, yeah, it didn't pan out in anything. They had pretty much already solidified the game with the score, so it wasn't a great representation of that trust. But if we had seen that in like a 25-25 moment in a stalemate, I mean, that would speak more volumes to me. But I think it just goes to show you that they're on the same page. There is a level of communication happening on Complexity that is very high. In order to, like, have that level of communication go down, the situational awareness and the trust in your teammate to, hey, I'm giving you this power, I'm like taking it away from myself, I believe in you.
I'm going to give a call to 90. I want to see Collect's POV right away. Last time we saw him on this map, he went high flying and did basically a Tony Hawk Pro Skater Pro move and grabbing the camouflage mid-air. I want to see maybe if he tries that strat again, but that's something that we're seeing so often, is so many strategies being developed early in this game. Cycle gets the first kill down. Collect goes for the grapple, and he's looking to get this camouflage, jumping up and stealing it away from G1. A start from Complexity that they have mastered, and we've seen Collect in particular being so effective with the grapple plays.
It was a good job by Gamers First to make him burn it, though. They were aware that he was going to do that play. They focused him instead of the camouflage. They were able to take him down, so that camo gets nullified here early on in the game.
See Foul playing up close with the sniper, but just can't get the head to connect. Waste 3 bullets before he has to give it to the young gun of Collect. He goes down early though, and these snipers going back and forth. Suppress ends up with the ammo. 7 bullets to work with. Both the snipers in his possession as he tries to get home, but a little bit of a cursed weapon as that sniper hits the ground once again. Oh my God, Sab. He's picked up the sniper for G1. Monster's the last one alive, and Complexity all seeing the respawn screen, and Sab is in a feast or famine situation. He's gonna jump up top mid with the sniper. He needs to hit the shot, and he gets punished right for it.
Good shots there coming out of Complexity. They went 3 down. You wondered if Gamers First was gonna have a real opportunity to get a potential push to get a flag pull, and coming off respawn, Complexity do a good job to get a couple of kills to relieve some of that pressure. But now Booba last player alive. He's in the enemy base. Do they know he's here is the big question. What kind of a play can Jesse make?
Well, Monster's on the flank. Does not know about Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo's position. That lift's gonna give him away, and Monster stays forward. Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo stays calm, always in the back looking for a flank. Monster finally learns of his position, but not before 3 bullets go down, and Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo sends the fadeaway nade, gets the kill. Tusk pulling a flag on the other side. Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo decides to leave the base, playing for this camouflage. The grapple gets it in his hands, but damage is done. Can he stay alive? I can't believe he's alive.
The fact that he's even able to live for that long is unbelievable, but Tusk hunts him down, takes him down, and with that, another camo nullified. And so often do we see camouflage being the answer to how teams successfully get the flag on the move and potentially score those first initial caps in this mode. So the fact that it's been nullified, no surprise that this game remains at a 0-0 for now. It's going to really take a highlight play, potentially from Collect with Snipe, to open this one up.
Oh, Falcade just doesn't see him, and Collect gets a double, dropping from the back end. He's able to devour both the players, keeping his team forward on this map, the most forward one with the sniper as well. Depending on him to hitting the snipe shot as his team. Collect eventually is going to go down, leaving that sniper up for grabs, but just shows you how much of an impact he can make at any moment.
Back and forth, these two teams just battling for map control. Neither team really getting 4 down in any situation so far, and that's really why you haven't seen a team completely on their back feet. You love this by Falcade. He's going to throw Complexity Snipe off the map. That's going to take away some of the power that they're able to play around, and maybe give Gamers First their first real opportunity to use power in order to get a first flag on the move.
Well, Zab's going to continue his way forward, getting back towards his team, and G1 looking for their first push. It's going to be 3 players that come in, but not before a nade gets in between all 3 of them. Zab's in trouble, and Tusk finds the kill, getting into the base, and at a crucial moment, that sniper coming up somewhat soon. Tusk looking to live inside of Complexity's base. I mean, inside of the G1's base. Throwing down these couple nades. Here we go, Clutch.
Yeah, Tusk staying alive here. This advanced position is pretty important, but unfortunately, he's going to have a lot of pressure, and he's going to do exactly what Falcated did to him moments ago and throw G1 sniper off the map. So an eye for an eye, a snipe for a snipe. A little bit of the power off the map, and unfortunately, no real team able to get that significant control like we're saying. I mean, this game is going to go down to time. You have to best believe most Argyle flags do, but right now at 7:22, you're wondering who's going to make that next step and who's going to really put a team on their back heels. It looks like Gamers First is in a strong position now with 2 down, all 4 players alive. Can they get the job done?
Well, here we go. G1, they're flooding in. Cycle tries to get out from the front of the base. No one's seeing him for now in prime real estate to potentially stop this flag. First nade comes in. Tusk dealing with the grenades, enemy and team alike. The kills come through, and G1's push is stopped just as fast as it started. It feels like we haven't seen any problem of these teams getting into the opponent's base, but what's been holding them up by getting it away, Clutch?
I mean, honestly, both teams are doing a phenomenal job of just getting that 1 kill they need to delay the flag run, to lower the offensive side of the team that's getting that flag pull, right? And when you get that first kill, it's everything to be able to just stop the pressure that's going to be on the respawners, to be able to stop the suppression that's going to be on like the flag runner as he's taking it off. And I think that the second that a player is able to stay alive a little bit too long in an enemy's base, that's when a real play is going to be made. But for now, both teams doing a phenomenal job of making sure they get that 1 kill.
So far, it looks like Complexity has an attack. Monster's going to be able to pull out the flag, but Suppress on the other side of the map trying to cause some chaos. But every second he sits here, he realizes his flag is getting closer to the Complexity home base. G1 going to be able to recover this flag for now, but Tusk with the new sniper, and he has an angle onto G1 sniper as well. This could be a huge momentum shift if he's able to deny sniper access to G1.
Doesn't look like anyone from G1's going for it just yet, but you can best believe somebody will eventually make their way. And the second he stops looking at it, I believe Falcated just picks it up. So you can't sit there all day, and you want to advance on the map. Your teammates are in combat, so you got to figure out a way to balance the 2 decisions. And right now, Falcated with the snipe in hand is going to have grapple to play around.
Looking for an opportunity to get behind these players. Falcated sees his teammates going down, but can hear the running of Monster. He's going to come back, and he's going to be able to help with this first kill. Monster not going to be having much success in the back of the base. Falcated finds the back smack, and finally an opportunity for G1 to push. It feels like they've been on their back foot the last couple minutes, but now kills going in their favor. Collect tries to Superman his way out and is just able to survive, but the onslaught of G1 isn't done. A couple kills, and Falcated tries to get the fade away. Here comes the push from G1. They're in trouble. Complexity 3 down.
Now, this is the moment they need to take down Monster before he gets his shield back. Can Monster get a kill? The answer is yes, and that kill is massive. That's what I was talking about earlier. When you get that kill, it's so difficult to keep this flag on the move. It's up to Falcated to try and hit a couple of shots, because Suppress, he goes down with the flag, and now Falcated is able to get a kill, but it's not enough, and this return's almost guaranteed, and that's all on the back of Monster. Last player alive, able to pick up 1 kill, and that's literally the difference in that flag being scored and making it a 1-0 lead for Gamers First, and it not going through.
Sab's not done with his push quite yet, though. Still behind enemy lines with camouflage coming up, though. He had to give it away towards the side of G1, but Complexity seemed to have found the answers right away. 3 kills and collects PC with the sniper. In fact, he was able to find the camouflage and all the chaos, and not only the camouflage, but 2 snipes to go with it. The back smack on the first. Falcated, your next stop. That's triple. No, Sab shuts it down just before it can get started, but the onslaught of Complexity players isn't done.
Needs to stay alive. Tuss doesn't slide out the right way, but still able to finish that kill. And now a lot of Complexity members here in Gamers First Base. They need to get a couple more kills in order to get this flag on the move. Unfortunately, Monster goes down, but 3 fresh dead for Gamers First is going to give Complexity a real opportunity to get this one far.
This feels like the first real opportunity we've seen all game from either team. Collect, though, gets shut down before anything can arise. Sab trying his best to survive. That flag keeps going forward, and he might have to change gears. Looking for an overextension now, and time starting to play a factor. Are you kidding me? He's got hops. Did you see how high he went?
What an angle, what a sight line to be able to finish that one shot, and that might be the difference in this flag going in. A trade on the collect as well. Flag's still on the move. Monster's gonna get it towards his snipe, but he's got some pressure to deal with, and he's not gonna be able to run this in for free, but teammates are respawning here, so maybe he's got just enough help. Unfortunately, he actually gets it done. It gets punched in. I didn't know if he was gonna get the touchdown there, but it's a 1-0 lead for Complexity.
I think we're talking about frames right there of a difference between that flag maybe being stopped at home and going in, but Complexity strike first, and it took what, 12 minutes it feels like for this first flag to come in. Sab working on the top mid with camouflage coming in. This will be the last one of regulation. G1 need to put this one to work, putting the trust into Sab to make some action happen. And Sab looking for players, but what does he know? They're on the other side. That grenade explosion, that Monster shot that grenade on the ground, but didn't find any hit marker onto Sab to get any information.
And Sab immediately takes this camo without really too many members of Complexity going down. He's able to grab that flag, at least get in front of the base, but now forced to try and play his life. 2 kills is great, but somebody needs to get that flag on the move, and no grapple in hand on any member on the Gamers First. It doesn't look like this is going to be an easy run. A ton of members of Complexity still playing defense, and Tools, you talked about it. It felt like that first cap took 12 minutes. Well, if you take a look at the clock, it's 1 minute and 10 seconds on the 10 seconds on the clock left, and you're down 1-0. Now all of a sudden the pressure went from, it was tied up 0-0, like 2 minutes later, all of a sudden all the pressure in the world's on you. You're down 2-0 in the series. You need a cap.
How fast can you play? G1 gonna have to change gears. Time is short. Cycle, though, with the sniper, has the line of defense. Suppress gonna be the first one to beat Suppress, the first head to go. Sab, he might just be up next. Falcon teaming up. The sniper Cycle's been hot, and it stays hot. Oh, just missing towards the right. G1 with 30 seconds left in this game have an opportunity to push, but their teammates just keep falling down. Falcated last alive, and there's no help to come for any time soon. He has to find a push. I don't think it was meant for collect, but it connects anyway.
No shot that was meant for collect. That was a drive-by right there. Unfortunately, collect on the wrong side of that timing, and as flashy as that was, as nice as that was, it's going to be 2 players left for G1 to try and get a touch. The grenades are good. The slays come through, and Complexity, well, 3-0 G1 here in the elimination bracket finals. It was a highly contested series, but Complexity clutching up in these 3 games made the difference there. And I mean, shout out to them. They deserved their spot in the grand finals.
I feel like we've seen this story time and time again when it comes to Monster getting onto a new team, Clutch. I feel like whenever he gets on a new roster, they go through like a honeymoon phase where they're guaranteed top 3. I remember that Avengers roster he was on back when, before they were Believe the Hype, and then they changed into Avengers when he left. We saw Proton go on a hell of a run in a tournament when he first joined them, and now Complexity has made their way to the grand finals. This was the flag that should have gone home, but it was a nade that caught out Sab, and even though Sab gets that kill, it just feels like they run out of time.
Yeah, I think we got to talk about everybody on this Complexity roster, and that was something that we talked about yesterday when we were talking about the pickup of Collect, and how going from a team with Sentinels and all the nostalgia from those names and the players that are on that roster, and then going to Complexity, maybe an unproven bunch of players, and what that does as far as a mentality for everybody that's on there. You're all young, you're all trying to make that first big splash on your careers, as a team. And when all 4 players are in that same mindset, they're hungry, they're motivated, they're trying to make that difference, and no one's ever done it, there's a little bit of extra even in these online 4Ks, right? I think like there's so much, it means so much more to these guys to try and make a grand finals in the online 4K than it does a Space Station Gaming and Optic Gaming, and people that have been there, done that, and don't really get up to the occasion nearly as much. It's great to see Complexity really shine and show that level of effort and passion, and shout out to them for coming out this tournament and just playing lights out. But hopefully you think the job's not done. I know the first series against FaZe didn't go well, but there's always a second chance, and you've given yourself that second chance by winning this series.
And what do you think about the composition of this Complexity team? With I bring this up to you in particular because I remember your career and how you got some of the younger players in the scene. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm saying you were a little bit older, you know, and this, I'm not calling you ancient, but you know, you're a boomer, you know, you've been around for a minute in Halo terms. When you were competing, you went and you picked up some of the youngest players. Now it feels like Complexity's doing the same, right? You got Tusk and Monster who are a little bit older in the scene, but then you have 2 of the youngest players in the HCS with Collect and Cycle bring it in. What do you think about that dynamic between old and young, the new and old, and mixing them together to make a run on LAN?
Yeah, I think it works out, especially if you're on the old side, right? You're always looking for the young up and coming talents, and I mean, everybody knows Collect is one of those young and up and coming talents. It's like a superstar skill level. Can we just put the right chemistry and right teamwork around him and find the right groove is the big question. Cycle is one of those guys too for Complexity that really impressed me all of last year. Whenever I got an opportunity to see him, I'm like, he's got skill, man. Like, he can play some damn good Halo when he's playing well. But what can we do to get the team around him and the flow state around him a little bit cleaner and more consistent, and give him a real opportunity to compete at a high level?